Man, summer's almost over, and I better get downstairs and eat some breakfast soon, man. The kitchen closes at... Well, I take that back. My mom will always have something in the fridge. But anyway, so welcome back, guys. Because I did say that I was going to be bringing you my Gem-Knights, and I'm really hungry, so I'm going to... Oh, God, that's loud. And I'm really hungry, so I'm going to make this one fast. So, anyway, so I was talking to you about how Gem-Knights are like, you know... Actually, I think that Gem-Knights actually stand a chance in this format because stuff like Heavy Storm and Monster Reborn, stuff that really helps out your opponent, are kind of gone. And this is somewhat of a defensive deck where, I mean, like I have weak monsters, so Malevolent Catastrophe actually is feasible because my opponent attacking me does happen a lot. So I used to have 2 MSTs in here. I took out 2 of the MSTs, put in a Gem-Knight Amber and a 3rd Malevolent Catastrophe. So obviously the other 2 Malevolent Catastrophes came from me getting rid of a Heavy Storm and a Monster Reborn. So yeah, I have yet to really use Malevolent Catastrophe just because I don't really think I ever draw into it, even though I've got 3 of them. Isn't that crazy? But I never really use it. But when I draw it, obviously it's very easy to use. It's very good. But let me sort of explain why I've got the cards that I do in this deck. So first of all, you always need to run 6 normal monsters, as in like actual vanilla monsters, that as people call them, because they're really good for Rescue Rabbit. It was even better back when Rescue Rabbit was at 2, because I could summon 2 of these guys and then 2 of these guys, going to Digest Emerald and Lava Valchain. And these are the main 2 guys that I'm going into. I try to avoid Maestroke unless absolutely necessary, because essentially Maestroke can take 3 beatings, which is always good, but yeah. Anyway, so I like to have Garnet and Tourmaline rather than Sapphire and the level 7 guy. I don't know what his face is, but he's got like 2450 attack. He's not very good. I prefer these 2 because, first of all the Gem-Knight fusion monsters that are water related, watch, I'll show you, that are fusion or water related, like Aquamarine and Amethyst, both of them suck, so I wouldn't use them. Also, because of Gaia Power's effect, all Earth monsters gain 500 attack and lose 400 defense. Well, Amethyst has a higher defense than attack, so normally you special summon him in defense mode, and his effect isn't that great. Also, Aquamarine, he's okay. If this card attacks, it is changed to defense position at the end phase, so his defense goes down to 2200, which is kind of crappy. And his effect isn't even really that great, so I don't run Sapphire anymore. Instead, I run Tourmaline, which is for Topaz as well as for Prismura, because Prismura requires a Thunder-type monster. Topaz specifically requires Tourmaline. And I also run Ruby, which specifically requires Garnet, and Citrine, which just requires a Pyro-type, which is what Garnet is. And Tourmaline is Thunder. Also, Amber is Thunder, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So I really like these guys because of Rescue Rabbit. Also, because they are normal monsters, they're really easy to get back with Dark Factory. Getting 2 of these guys back from Dark Factory, and then it's very easy to get Gem-Knight Fusion back into your hand. So, Dark Factory plus having a Gem-Knight in your grave that's like an Obsidian or a Lazuli, or even an Amber, banish it, add the Gem-Knight to your hand, activate Dark Factory, bring those 2 to your hand, immediate fusion summon of a Gem-Knight monster. Really easy to pull stuff off with this. Also, the reason why the vanillas are pretty good is because of Lazuli and Obsidian. I'll get into that a little bit later. So you want to run these 6 right here. Oh yeah, Gem-Knight, or Gem-Armadiller rather. Gem-Armadiller. So the reason why you want to run this guy, and you want to run 3 of them, is because why not? He's never a dead card in your hand. So there are really 3 types of Gem-Knight decks that you can run. There's the deck that I'm running essentially, which focuses around the normal monster Rescue Rabbit type deal. It was even better when Rescue Rabbit was at 2, but regardless. There's also the build that runs around Gem-Knight or Gem-Knight Gemini monsters like Amber, Sardonyx. I can't remember some of the other Gem-Knight. Oh, obviously I can just scroll up. Emerald. Oh no, he's not. Who is it? Sardonyx, Amber, this guy, Iolite, I guess. I'm not sure. And that's it, pretty much. running around that, running Gem-Knight Spark and all that jazz that, you know, Gem-Knight monsters run. And there's also the version that runs... Oh shit, I forgot what the third version was. I'll think of it later, I can't remember. Oh, there's Gem-Knight Crystal, by the way, the guy that I was talking about, that's level 7. He's actually, you know, somewhat good if you want to go into rank 7s, because Obsidian can special summon him, but I'll get into that later. But anyway, so the reason why I like Gem-Armadiller is because when he's normal summoned, he's essentially an elemental hero Stratos for your Gem-Knight monsters. Really good. Also, if you've already got a Gem-Knight monster on the field, like if you had a Gem Turtle just sitting there, you can overlay them for a level of chain, and then stuff is really going to be happening, and it's really good, because you just added a Gem-Knight monster to your hand. Plus, Gem Turtle is on the field, well, you've got a Gem-Knight, or you've got a Gem Fusion. Wait till you see what, freaking Lava Chain can do for this deck. Normally, Lava Chain is just sending a monster or a spell card, usually just a monster, to the grave, just for the sake of getting it to the grave. But in this deck, actually sending monsters to the grave actually does something for you with Lazuli. And sending Gem-Knight Fusion to the grave, because you can just banish a Gem-Knight monster in your deck, the one that you, or in your graveyard rather, probably the one that you just detached for Lava Chain, and then adding it to your hand is extremely good. So wait till you see what he does. So that's Gem-Armadiller. I've got Amber just because I knew for sure when I had to take out that rescue rabbit, the second rescue rabbit, I wanted another Gem-Knight monster of some sort. Because one of the things that you can see about this deck is I obviously run more spells and traps than monsters, which is somewhat of a problem, you might at first think, and sometimes you do end up with a dead hand, but really, Gem-Knights, they require the assistance of Gaia Power, otherwise they're just going to be too weak to do anything. And you'll see it actually is really good later on. But I chose Gem-Knight Amber because of his effect. So, once he becomes an actual effect monster, once per turn you can discard one Gem-Knight card, add one of your banished monsters to your hand. So he's really good because, let's say you activate Gem-Knight Fusion, you used up Gem-Knight Amber and Gem-Knight Obsidian to either summon like a Prismura or a Gem-Knight Zirconia, either one. Now, you get a special summon a normal monster because of Obsidian, a Gem-Knight no, actually it's any level 4 or lower normal monster, doesn't have to be Gem-Knight. Of course, the only ones I have in here are Gem-Knight, but regardless. So I get a special summon Gem-Knight Amber, because in the grave, he's counted as a normal monster. Which means I now special summoned him, then I can normal summon him to have him treated as an effect monster. Then I can banish a Gem-Knight monster to add Gem-Knight Fusion to my hand. Then I can discard a Gem-Knight monster like Lazuli to add that banished Gem-Knight monster back to my hand. Lazuli then allows me to add a normal monster from my graveyard back to my hand. Now I have two Gem-Knight monsters in my hand, use Gem-Knight Fusion, which I had already added to my hand, go into another Gem-Knight Fusion. That type of thing. It's really good pluses in this deck. Really good. So yeah, that's why I have Amber. Plus he's an extra Thunder for Prismura. I only run one Prismura, he's okay. Rescue Rabbit, he should be friggin' obvious. Obviously you're going to be special summoning these guys. Gem Turtle. A lot of people don't run Gem Turtle in the Gem-Knight deck. I find him absolutely necessary. Because a lot of the times, if you go first, you always want to go first. But if you do end up going first, you want to be able to set up a blocker first thing, right? Because you don't know what your opponent's going to be running. He could have a Dark Hole, he could have a stronger monster than you. Gem Turtle is really good because, first of all, it cuts down on the time of getting Gem-Knight Fusion to your hand. Plus, he's 2,000 defense, which is really good. Plus, he's a level 4, which means next turn, you do very little normal summoning in this deck. Very little. What normal summoning you actually do might just be from Rescue Rabbit and Gem-Armadiller. Like, that's pretty well it. So that means that next turn, if you have a Gem-Armadiller in your hand, you could, like, normal summon it and then overlay for a rank 4, which is really good. I always run 2 Gem Turtles, though. It just really, really helps. Like, he's never a dead card in your hand. You just set him if you draw him. Like, you could always use as many Gem-Knight Fusions in your hand as possible, because you want to avoid banishing your Gem-Knights from your graveyard if possible. Okay, so Obsidian, he's a level 3, so you can't really do anything in terms of overlay. But that's not what you're going to be using him for. You'll take Gem-Knight Fusion, take Obsidian, and another Gem-Knight monster, preferably not a Lazuli, preferably a normal monster or an Amber. And then what you're going to do with it is you're going to go into one of your Gem-Knight Fusions. Then what you're going to do is use this effect to special summon a level 4 lower monster in your graveyard to your side of the field. I mean, it could have been like you took a Tourmaline and an Obsidian to summon a Prismura. Now you not only make the Prismura, but now you get to use this effect to special summon that Tourmaline that you just sent to the grave along with him, which is really good. So he gives you pluses as well. I really like him because with Gaia Power you can create OTKs because of this guy. Let me put it that way. It's really good. I love OTK decks. Lazuli, I slightly like him better than Obsidian, only because Obsidian says if this card is sent from your hand to the graveyard. Lazuli says if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect. Period. You could send him from your deck to the grave through Lava Val Chain and you still get his effect. Also, of course, if you Gem-Knight Fusion, you get to activate his effect. But the fact that it can even be from your deck is extremely good for plussing, because that adds a normal type monster back to your hand, so that way you can activate Gem-Knight Fusion again. Because a lot of times what I'm banishing to add Gem-Knight Fusion back to my hand are the Lazulis and the Obsidians. Because once they're in the grave, I can't do anything with them. But the normals, the vanillas, I can add them back. It's really good. Actually, you can even add back Amber. He's not a vanilla. But whatever. Gem-Knight Fusion, really self-explanatory. You should know what it does now, but no, if you don't, send from your hand over your side of the field to the graveyard the fusion materials that are listed on the Gem-Knight Fusion monster, then special summon that fusion monster from the extra deck, right? Blah, blah, blah. If it's in the graveyard, then you can banish one Gem-Knight monster from your graveyard, add it to the hand, essentially. It's really good. Double summon, I like double summon because sometimes if I've got Rescue Rabbit in my hand, I like to still be able to normal summon a Gem-Armadiller, or go ahead and still normal summon a Gem Turtle, or set obviously, and then still normal summon a Rescue Rabbit or something. I really like that, just for being able to make my overlays. I really like double summon. And I don't run like 3 light monsters like Effect Veiler, so that way I can make Gem-Knight's Seraphinite. I don't really like Gem-Knight Seraphinite. It takes up space in the extra deck. It's not that great for a Gem-Knight deck. It's good for just about any other deck though. Dark Hole, obviously, because it's the last of the Holy Trinity that are left, unfortunately. Terraforming to get Gaia Power to your hand. Gaia Power you usually draw into often enough that you don't need Terraforming. It's not absolutely necessary to get it to your hand first turn or something, like Dragon Ravine is, because it's only when you've got monsters that are going to be attacking do you even need to play Gaia Power. So 2 Terraformings does the job. 2 Dark Factories because you can add your normals. You can add your Amber, so you can go into more fusioning, or you can use it because you want to do hand destruction. So I run 3 hand destructions because it's really good, because first of all, if you send Obsidian, you get to activate his effect because of hand destruction. If you send Lazuli, you got to activate his effect because of hand destruction. And plus, if you sent Lazuli and a Gem-Knight normal monster, then usually you go -1 with hand destruction, but this time you go +0. So it's okay. Plus you get to draw 2 new cards, which is always really good. You have to run through this deck pretty quickly though. Also, if you have a dead Terraforming, you can always, destruct it. Or a dead double summon, destruct it. Or a dead Malevolent Catastrophe, destruct it. Gaia Power. So I already told you, it pumps up every single Gem-Knight monster in this deck. It actually pumps up every single monster in this deck, including Rescue Rabbit. But who the hell attacks with Rescue Rabbit? Pumps it up by 500 attack. All Gem-Knight Fusions, pumps it up by 500 attack. Really, really, really nice. Unfortunately, none of my exceeds are, Earth, but that doesn't matter. 3 Malevolent Catastrophes because it's essentially 3 Heavy Storms. I like to activate it because why not? I love people when they attack my Gem Turtle or whatever, or one of my ranks. Like Lava Val Chain, people like to attack that a lot, and then I just lure them into it and activate Malevolent Catastrophe. Bam! Get rid of 2. I try to only set it if they've got like 2 or more back row. It's really good. And then Fragment Fusion. You have to run 2 of these in your deck. Have to. If you want to OTK, let me put it that way, you have to run 2 Fragment Fusions. Fragment Fusion is a lot of times how I'll OTK, because first of all, you'll activate Gem-Knight Fusion, right? To send like Obsidian and Tourmaline, you summon a Topaz or something. Then you activate Fragment Fusion, banish the Tourmaline and Obsidian, special summon a Prismura. Obviously, you can see that banish fusion material monster from your grave that are listed on the Gem-Knight Fusion monster card. Obviously, if you just play Gem-Knight Fusion, which it's a good chance that you will every turn, those fusion materials are going to obviously be in the graveyard, which means that you can then banish them to summon another one. Now, it is destroyed during the end phase, but a lot of times what I'll either do is I'll OTK, or I'll summon like a Zirconia with Obsidian and Tourmaline. Then I'll banish the two Tourmaline and Obsidian to summon another Zirconia. I'll attack with 2 Zirconias, main phase 2, go into a rank 8. Or I'll summon 2 level 7, go into a rank 7. Or I'll summon 2 level 6s, go into a rank 6. And Ptolemy is actually quite good. I'll get into him in a little bit. But yeah, Ptolemy's really good. So yeah. Let me go from right to left because Master Diamond's probably the one that needs the most explanation. So Digest Emerald, pretty obvious. 2 level 4 monsters. Really easy to make. Once per turn, you can essentially be like a mini Pot of Avarice. Target 3 monsters in grave, shuffle them into the deck, then draw 1 card. Or you can detach an XYZ material and special summon a non-effect monster, meaning a vanilla essentially. Zirconia is a non-effect monster. You can detach and special summon him for 2,900 plus 1,800. That equals what? 37? Or 47, excuse me. Wow, I can't do math. So yeah, 4,700. That's pretty good. Yeah. OTKs can happen with him as well. So I really like Digest Emerald. Also, I really like Lava Butt Chain. Usually if I go into rank 4, the first guy I'm going into is Lava Butt Chain because of his effect. So I detach, let's say I summon Rescue Rabbit, special summon 2 level 4s, go into Lava Butt Chain, detach one of the materials to send Gem-Knight Fusion to the grave, banish the Gem-Knight monster that I just sent, add Gem-Knight Fusion to my hand. If I've got Gem-Knight monsters in my hand, I can immediately go into special summons, or fusion summons rather. So it's really good. I like it a lot. Also, you can send Lazuli to the grave from your deck to add back that Tourmaline that you just like detached or something. So that's really good. Like if you have nothing in your grave, detach Tourmaline, send Lazuli, add back Tourmaline. That's really good. I really love it whenever I get to activate both of his, I get to activate his effect twice. So I really like it when people don't destroy my monster. So if you ever duel me, please don't destroy my Lava Butt Chain. I really like him. Too bad he's not all Lava monsters are Pyro. Why can't this guy be Pyro? Seriously, Sea Serpent? If he was Pyro, I could use him to summon Citrine. Because once he's dead, no more XYZ materials, I can't do anything with him. I can't get rid of him. So, wait till he's completely depleted, then you can attack him. Thank you. My stroke, obviously it's just for blocking power. That's pretty much it. He can take 3 hits. Ptolemy, so the great thing about Ptolemy is actually because, so if you do go into a Topaz and a Ruby, which is very possible, because the only thing that you need to do to go into Topaz and Ruby is take like Garnet and Tourmaline, take Gem-Knight Fusion, go into Ruby, and then Dark Factory both of them, and get Gem-Knight Fusion back to your hand, or use Fragment Fusion, either one, and then take Tourmaline and Garnet and go into Topaz, pretty much. And then once you're done using them, like in main phase 2 or whatever, then you can go into Ptolemy and then use his effect to essentially detach one of these guys, which you can then banish one of these guys later on to get Gem-Knight Fusion to your hand. Because once these guys are in the grave, then you can't really do anything with them. So it's really good for that effect. But then the reason why Ptolemy is so good, first of all, you can add one of their monsters on their side of the field back to their hand if you actually want to. Or what I normally end up doing is adding back a monster from my graveyard back to my hand. What monster? A lot of the times it's going to be a Rescue Rabbit, or it could be like an Obsidian or a Lazuli or a normal type monster, either one. It doesn't really matter. I like to be able to add back Gem-Knights or Rescue Rabbit, because then next turn I have next turn when it's my turn to draw again, because obviously I activated his effect in main phase 2, I'll activate his effect again, add another Gem-Knight monster to my hand, which means that when I banish that fusion monster that I just detached for Gem-Knight Fusion, I will now be able to activate Gem-Knight Fusion again. So Ptolemy is really good. He's the harder of the ranks to get out, really, because I very rarely get out Ruby and Topaz, but that's because I rarely ever have the need to get both of them out at the same time. So yeah, anyway, so Draco Sack, the reason why I chose Draco Sack over Big Eye is because Big Eye is alright, but he's easier to get rid of with stuff like Bottomless Trap Hole, or well, actually, Bottomless Trap Hole is going to get rid of Draco Sack as well, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm saying like things like Mirror Force, or being able to, like, next turn your opponent summons something that's good enough to get rid of it, like summons a Blue Eyes or something. Well, they can obviously run over a Big Eye, but they can't with Draco Sack. So they essentially can do the same thing. They can pop front row, or Big Eye just steals front row pretty much. But I like Draco Sack better because notice I don't run any MSTs, so I can just destroy back row to clear the way for my Gem-Knight monsters to attack, especially like my big vanilla Zirconia. I also like the fact that he can stay alive a lot longer than Big Eye can, so that's the reason why I really like him. Draco Sack, Felgran the Dragon Knight, the Divine Dragon Knight, in fact. He's pretty good, because whenever I go into 2 Zirconias for any particular reason, I like to overlay for him, because he can essentially protect my other Gem-Knight monsters, or himself, because once per turn during either player's turn, just like Constellar, not Ptolemy, what's his name? Oh my gosh, Pleiades. Wow, it's been a long time since I've used my Constellar deck. Pleiades, once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach an XYZ material, and you negate the monster that you choose, that you target's effect, but for the rest of that turn, they're unaffected by card effects. So, you can chain this to, obviously when he's summoned, you can chain this to Bottomless Trap Hole, you can chain it to Compulsory Evacuation Device, you can make him unaffected by Dimensional Prison, which is now down to 2, and Mirror Force, which is still at 2 actually, which is kind of weird that they hit Deep Prison but not Mirror Force. Huh. I don't know, like, the fact that they actually banned Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn has been off the ban list for so long, and they finally banned it. Mirror Force used to be on the ban list, so that's kind of crazy, but whatever. He's really good, plays his 2800 attack. Topaz. Now, notice that he only has 1800 attack, but his effect is pretty good, so you just need a Gem-Knight monster and Gem-Knight Tourmaline, so it's pretty easy to get him out, but he's only got 1800 attack, but he gets to attack twice during each battle phase, and if he destroys a monster, then you inflict damage equal to the monster's attack. But the reason why I really like this guy now, and I didn't have him in my old deck, is because of Gaia Power. With Gaia Power, this guy's attack is actually 2300, which is extremely good. Now he can actually get over stuff, and being able to attack twice, a lot of times what I'm doing is like clearing front row, which means I can attack 2 monsters at once, and then I can inflict damage equal to their attack. So that's really good. In terms of rupee, my rupees from Ocarina of Time, I have 500 rupees. No, not really, but Ruby is pretty good because, ew, what the heck just flew on my screen? I have no idea. Anyway, so Ruby is, you know, just a Gem-Knight Garnet plus any Gem-Knight monster, so a lot of times what I'll try to use for Topaz is either this guy, or this guy, or this guy, obviously whichever one you're going for, Topaz or Ruby. But I like to go with either one of the Gem-Knight monsters that'll act as one of the Gem-Knight monsters with the fusion material. That'll allow me a +1 either to the field or to my hand, or take like Garnet and Tourmaline, go into Ruby, and then like I told you before, Dark Factory, take the 2 again, go into Topaz, that type of thing. So it's really good with that. But the reason why Ruby is really nice is because he does have actually quite a good attack, 2500, and he's even better with Gaia Power on the field, obviously at 3000. But you can tribute one face-up Gem-Knight monster you control. This card gains attack equal to the tributed monster's attack on the field. So I haven't really checked, but I'm not sure if a tribute is the same as ascending. If you tribute a monster, that's the same as sending it to the grave. Because I'm wondering if you sent Lazuli from your side of the field to the grave, like as a tribute, would that count? I'm not sure. It's always very finicky about the whole send tribute type thing. What goes on there? Because I know that that sending is not the same as a tribute, but is tribute the same as a send? That's the question. But either way, a lot of times what I like to do is if I did take like Garnet and Obsidian, then I can special summon Garnet, sacrifice Garnet for Ruby, and then I just pumped his attack up to what, 4400? So plus he inflicts piercing damage, which is really nice. So, like, if that Marshmallow is just, like, sitting there, face down, and you attack that Marshmallow, well, you just inflicted, what, 3,900 to your opponent? Because Marshmallow only has 500 defense. And, of course, you take 1,000 damage, but they just took 3,900. So that's massive! Of course, this is only until the end phase, but still, it's really good. And then Citrine. This is the main guy that I like. He's my favorite Gem-Knight monster. If this guy didn't even exist, I wouldn't even be worrying about Gem-Knight monster decks, because this guy is super powerful. He's super special awesome, as Yugioh used to say. Because, essentially, as soon as he starts to attack, no card effects can be activated. I've actually screwed over a couple of people. So, you attack Marshmallow. Marshmallow's effect cannot be activated. Although, I think it still can't be destroyed by battle, but you don't take 1,000 damage. Also, if you attack Needleworm, you attack, not Cyber Jar, Morphine Jar. Their effects don't activate. I attacked a Penguin Soldier. His effect did not activate. You can attack a Shining Angel, or whatever you want to attack, a UFO Turtle. Their effect won't activate. You attack, and they try to activate a Deep Prison, won't activate. Mirror Force, won't activate. Negate Attack, won't activate. Obviously, you can tell where I'm going with this. It's not that he negates anything, so counter traps can't even stop him, because card effects, period, cannot be activated until the end of the damage step. Now, the only reason why this guy is so good is because, look at his attack. It's pretty shitty, right? 2,200? He can't get over some easy stuff. But with Gaia Power, pumping him up to 2,700, now he's able to get over stuff like a Stardust Dragon, which is really good. So, yeah. Obviously, card effects can't be activated. Or no, your opponent cannot activate card effects. So you can still chain like Hand Destruction or something. Or if you wanted to put another quick play spell in here, like a MST. Don't know why, but you can chain it during the battle phase. It's just your opponent cannot activate the effects of spell, trap, or affect monsters until the end of the damage step. So this guy's really good. That's why I run 3 of them. Plus he's level 7, so you can go into Draco Sack if necessary. You'll see me go into Draco Sack in one of the duels. It's really good. And then, of course, I've got Prismoor. So, how do I get out him? Just either a Tourmaline or an Amber, and then another Gem-Knight monster, because it requires a Thunder. So, once per turn, you can send one Gem-Knight card from your hand to the graveyard to target one face-up card on the field and destroy it. He's really good for getting rid of front row. Really good for getting rid of those face-up big attack monsters like Blackluster Soldier, or getting rid of that Gravity Bind that's on the field, or a field spell that they have, or a Swords of Revealing Light. Get rid of it. Unfortunately, it's once per turn, but you can send one Gem-Knight monster from your hand to the grave. Well, that helps with Obsidian, because then Obsidian gets his effect. That helps with Lazuli, because Lazuli gets his effect. Or if you've got any excess, normals normally, that I'll be sending, because they're very easy to get back with like Dark Factory, so just send the normals. So, plus he's got 2450 attack, 2950 with Gaia Power, so he's really good. And he's another level 7 for Draco Sack, so it's pretty good. Zirconia, nothing to say about him. He's a 2900 beater that can be special summoned with Digest Emerald. That's pretty much it. And he can make rank 8s. But he's really easy to make, and he's 2900 attack, which is good. He's even higher with Gaia Power. Gem-Knight Master Diamond is also 2900, but he's harder to make. Definitely harder to make, because he requires 3 Gem-Knight monsters. Any Gem-Knight monsters, but 3 Gem-Knight monsters nevertheless. But his effect is extremely good because, first of all, he gains 100 attack for each Gem-Knight monster in your graveyard, right? So, however many Gem-Knight monsters you've got in the grave, because you keep fusing them, it just adds to his attack. Plus, Gaia Power can pump him up. But it's just very cumulative. I like it. And also, you can banish 1 level 7 or lower Gem monster. Doesn't have to be Gem-Knight. It can just be Gem. So you could use his effect to copy. You wouldn't obviously copy Gem-Armadiller or Gem-Turtle because you can't activate their effect. But a lot of times, what I'm using to copy is either Topaz, or I can attack twice just to like end it, because his attack will be over 3,000 more than likely, and then Gem-Knight Topaz can allow him to attack twice to end the duel. Or you can banish, and I did this a couple times, banish Citrine. So that way he essentially becomes Citrine, and now you can attack with no fear of your opponent activating any face down cards. So it's really good. Really nice, and that's the reason why I like this deck. So that's pretty much it for the deck construction. Let's actually go into the replay, shall we? So I'll try to make this fast because I am somehow at the 30-minute mark. Are you serious? Wow, that is weird. Anyway, so this was essentially me testing it out against Jarvis first go around, because I wasn't sure exactly how it would pan out, because I've obviously made different types of Gem-Knight monster decks in the past, and this is the one that I find the most consistent, and I just wanted to test it out first. So first of all, I don't really have much of a hand, so ditch Terraforming and the normal monster. Draw 2 more cards. That should be really good. I'll +1 my hand later with Dark Factory. But I can't do anything, so I just set and end my turn. So obviously, Jarvis can do whatever the heck he wants. He does that, and my turn, set Gem Turtle, because I need to get the Gem-Knight Fusion to my hand ASAP so I can actually start doing stuff. And thankfully he attacks Turtle, which is great and everything, but I also draw into a Gem-Knight Fusion. But the reason why that's okay is because now I don't have to banish that often a Gem-Knight Fusion or a Gem-Knight monster from my deck to get back Gem-Knight Fusion, because now I have 2 of them, so it's okay. It's A-okay. So first of all, Dark Hole, because I can just add it back with Dark Factory anyway. Plus, I needed to put Garnet in the grave if I wanted to get back Tourmaline. So yeah. Okay, so Fuse, and notice I can do another Fusion Summon, right? Although I don't. Actually, you know, it might be worth putting in a second Topaz. Because think about it, I would have been able to activate Dark Factor and summon another Topaz. That would have been 46. Oh my gosh, that would have been an OTK. Oh my, I'm so silly, aren't I? But anyway, yeah, so I get to attack twice. And then man, that would have been really cool. Oh well, that doesn't really matter. Yeah, and then unfortunately, he still runs Heavy Storm, obviously, because he's still running the legal version, but whatever. And then I do it again, summon Rupee this time, and set, and then attack. And then I get to, next turn, I'll get to be able to activate Fragment Fusion. So that's good, because I can obviously summon something really good. And what is that really good thing? I'm talking about Zirconia. Or Master Diamond. Actually, I take that back. But yeah, he inflicts piercing damage anyway, so that's how I ended up winning. But yeah, Topaz, obviously you can see how good Topaz is, because it can clear the field, you know, that type of thing. And then this was the second time against Jarvis, I believe. Yes. So what happens here, essentially, is what I was talking about before with Draco Sack. So first thing that you did was evaluate your hand. The only thing I really had was Gem Turtle. I mean, I could have set another one, but Gem Turtle is the best thing to set right now, because first of all, he acts as a really good blocker of 2,000. Plus, he adds a Gem-Knight Fusion to your hand, which is really good because it cuts down on the amount of time that it takes to draw in it, you know? So Gem Turtle is a must. Flip him up, bitch, and then add Gem-Knight Fusion. Then what I did was normal summon Gem-Knight Amber, that way I could go into Lava Butt Chain. Go into Lava Butt Chain, now I can start fusing. Apparently I sent something to the grave. Oh, right. Oh, actually, what I could have done was sent another Lazuli, and then added back the Gem-Knight Amber to my hand, but it doesn't matter. So I added that, activated Gem-Knight Fusion, summoned Master Diamond, and then I sent 2 Lazulis, right? So that means I get to add back 2 normal monsters to my hand, the Amber and the Garnet? Yeah, the Amber and the Garnet. And now I can banish the Lazulis to start going into more stuff. So I go into Citrine, right? Which is really good. Now, I banish again, activate that, go into another Citrine. So the reason why I did that is that way I can, because I knew that for sure, whenever Jarvis sets a monster and doesn't attack my face-down monster, that's because his face-down monster is Gear Golem the Moving Fortress. Always, always, always. He always sets this guy instead of attacking if possible. Now, I knew that this guy has 2200 defense because I've seen this guy 100,000 times, and I knew that Citrine was not powerful enough to get over him. But Gem-Knight Master Diamond is, and I of course know that his face downs are like either Mirror Forces or Deep Prisons. It turns out both of these are Mirror Forces. But I needed to be able to put a Citrine in the grave in order to banish it so that way he gains the effect. Now, I've got 1 Citrine in the grave, right? So now I use Obsidian, Special Summon Garnet, banish, so that way I can do it again, summon another Citrine, right? Okay, that's good. So now I will attack with everything that is, you know, unaffected, you know, because I attack for 44, and he can't activate any spells or traps during that turn. So that's really good. And then main phase 2, what do? Go into Draco Sack. Why do I go into Draco Sack? First of all, so I can start popping back row. Also because now every single time I detach a Citrine, Gem-Knight Master Diamond gets to banish it and copy it. So that's really good. So I start popping back row and whatnot. He summons, of course, a monster to attack. Lava Vow Chain, because it's the main thing that he wants to get rid of, which is smart. Yeah. And then what I do is I destroy the monster instead of the face down. Why? Because Master Diamond, if I copy Citrine, is unaffected by the face down anyway. And plus Draco Sack can't attack anyway. So I want to get rid of the monster so I can attack directly rather than the face down. So attack for 3,400. So I leave him at 200. And then main phase 2, of course, I do it again. Detach, because I don't want Draco Sack to be destroyed by Fissure or Dark Hole or something. So then he does it again. He sets down a face down. I decide to use one of the tokens to destroy the face down. Banish the last Citrine, and thus he can't activate his Mirror Force again, which means I can attack directly for 3,400 again. And that's essentially how you take advantage of the fact that Citrine is amazing and Master Diamond is amazing, really. So yep, that's pretty much it. And then I've got one of them where I was dueling against Rasul. Rasul the Fool, more than likely, because this guy, I don't know what he was thinking, but he was running a trash deck. Straight up monsters, and it just okay. Obviously, he's running some sort of like Kaiba deck, I guess, except for the fact that Kaiba never ran Tuners or Needleworm or Penguin Soldier, but yeah. Anyway, so he goes ahead and summons Kaiba Man. I don't know why he didn't just go ahead and tribute it for the blue eyes. That would have been a smart thing to do, but I guess he wanted to hold on to it for some reason. Not exactly sure. It's kind of a retard move, but whatever. So here's what I do, right? I don't really have anything, so I go ahead and I ditch these 2 cards, so that way I can special summon Garnet. Which is good, because I haven't normal summoned yet, right? So now I get Gaia Power. Now I can normal summon Gem-Armadiller. So yeah. Add Lazuli to my hand. Overlay for Lava Vow Chain. Send Garnet to the grave, so that way I can send Gem-Knight Fusion. And then I will add back Gem-Knight Fusion to my hand next turn. But for now, I'm going to set Fragment Fusion so that way I can OTK and just let him do his thing. So he doesn't really have anything, unfortunately. So he just sets Penguin Soldier, which is fine. And then what I do is I go ahead and activate that again. Send another Lazuli. Yeah, so I can add back that Garnet. Banish the Lazuli, so I can add Gem-Knight, or Obsidian, I forgot he was in there. So yeah, now I activate Gem-Knight Fusion, sending those 2 to summon Citrine. And now I get to add back Garnet. Now I get to banish the Lazuli, and then do it again, summon another Citrine. And then I get to special summon Garnet, and then activate Gaia Power so they're really buff and whatnot, so I can get over whatever his face down is. Attack, he can't activate Penguin Soldier because it's not until the end of the damage step. Attack, and Garnet is actually powerful enough now to finish him off, so get owned, OTK, pretty much. Well, it wasn't an OTK technically, but it was a massive TK. Let's put it that way. It was massive. So anyway, that's pretty much how you use Gem-Knights. They're really fun. I wouldn't say they're top tier yet. There's not really any card that's out that makes them, oh, this deck is top tier, like Super Juve was with Elemental Dragons. Well, actually, like Big Eye and Draco Sack were with Elemental Dragons, because I swear, man, Elemental Dragons were just made to bring out freaking Draco Sack and Big Eye, because they're just powerful rank 7s, and all the Elemental Dragons were level 7. So anyway, that's pretty much it. If you want to take one more last look at the Gem-Knight deck, I'll be sure to put a deck profile listing of what all my cards are, because I know a lot of people end up asking for it anyway, so I'm going to do it for this one video. I don't know if I'll do an updated list of this, because I really want to be able to activate Malevolent Catastrophe, but that's what it is. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all in the future, and goodbye.